Hi, today is July the 18th, 2017. This is Dwyer from dwyersportsbetting.com, gamblersadvisory.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Big news in gambling. It's a bit of a shocker. It's clear who won the pre-fight press conferences between Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. Folks, Conor McGregor right now has dropped in the betting markets from a plus 700 all the way down to a plus 400. The boxing public, the MMA public, saw these two guys together. Notice the size gap between the two guys. McGregor is the naturally bigger man. Notice McGregor's fearlessness and reached a conclusion that Conor McGregor has a much better chance than the public believed he had before these press conferences. Right? Just understand, a plus 400 against Mayweather are shorter odds than many world-class fighters have gotten. My daughter's gonna come on screen here shortly. It's much better odds than many world-class fighters have gotten against Floyd Mayweather. Here, come get her. All right, family intervention here. Here, close the door too.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. All right. Well, let's just say this. In my opinion, in the world of boxing, there is no better bet on the board in any fight, in my opinion, as of July the 18th, 2017, than Floyd Mayweather by KO, going off right now at a minus 154. Folks, understand that the size gap works in Mayweather's favor. McGregor has fought as high as 170. Right? There's a weight cap here of 154. It's going to be much easier for Floyd Mayweather to make 154 than it will be for Conor McGregor. Understand, too, this fight is a 12-round fight. Conor McGregor has never gone 12 rounds. Hell, he's never had a boxing match. He hasn't gone 12 rounds in an MMA bout. Right? Understand, too, they're going to be barefoot. Floyd's going to walk around the ring. In fact, he's going to move around the ring much more easily, in my opinion, than Conor McGregor. There are also portions of an MMA fight where Conor McGregor would use his legs, kick a guy, back a guy up. He can't use his legs for offense in this boxing match. What happens if Floyd comes in, decides to fight small, bends at the waist, puts his head right around Conor McGregor's belly button? Right? What happens if Floyd does that? Is Conor McGregor gonna know what to do? Isn't that a situation in MMA where Conor would use his legs? How's he gonna operate with Floyd invading his space, hiding his body, bending his knees, crouching down? I'm telling you, Conor's going to have all kinds of problems, right? I don't see McGregor surviving this fight. If you don't believe Mayweather has the punch, just look at Mayweather's knockout ratio. Folks, understand that knockout ratio was accumulated against professional boxers, right? Not guys who are literally in a boxing ring, in a professional match for the first time. And, of course, Conor McGregor, big puncher. Big puncher. We don't know the kind of puncher he is wearing 10-ounce boxing gloves, do we? So I think McGregor is in over his head. I agree. He put on a big show at the pre-fight press conferences. Let me also say this, too. Don't get too carried away by the pre-fight press conferences, right? You want to know the real Mayweather? It's the guy who showed up in the Bronx, right, to talk about a Bronx police officer who was recently killed. That's the real Mayweather. The real Mayweather is the guy who stepped in and paid for Genaro Hernandez's funeral. right? So I understand. At these pre-fight press conferences, he's taking out a wad of $100 bills or $1 bills, whatever, depending on the report. And he's throwing it at Conor McGregor, and he's calling McGregor a stripper. And I'm sure a lot of people are offended, right? That's when the cameras are rolling and he's trying to sell you tickets to a fight. He's playing a character, right? Just understand the real guy is out there helping the family of fallen cops. That's who he is, right? Look at his record of philanthropy in the real world. By the way, it's in the real world that this fight's going to be fought. Let me also say this too about Mayweather, and I do not say this lightly. The best part of Mayweather's game, the best part, is his mental toughness, right? I don't care what's said at some pre-fight press conference before the opening bell and stuff like that. Understand, Mayweather's been in the ring in some tough situations, very tough situations. That first Castillo fight, both Marcus Maidana fights, the Zab Judah fight where Mayweather starts the fight slowly and is behind by a few rounds. And Mayweather has not lost his composure, right? He just doesn't. You know, he's a guy who I believe is more reliable, quite frankly, in terms of his mental approach than, let's say, Conor McGregor, who, let's face it, has lost 3 fights. So the public is buying into McGregor's pre-fight antics and have dropped the line significantly. Okay, great. That's more beer for serious gamblers like us. I just don't see a way Conor McGregor goes 12 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. Let's shift gears, right? According to rumors today, Deontay Wilder, who I've questioned here online, is going to fight Luis Ortiz next, right? Apparently, Bermane Stiverne is being offered step-aside money to make this fight happen, right? Let me applaud both guys. Right? Luis Ortiz wants to be champ. He's willing to do it the old-fashioned way. Fight the guy with the belt. Also, Deontay Wilder wants more respect. He feels that people are overlooking him. Why not take on one of the absolute toughest contenders out there? Right? This fight has classic written all over it. Wilder is the superior fighter from distance, right? That Wilder right hand from distance is one of the sport's best punches. But in my opinion, Ortiz has a decided advantage inside. Decided advantage inside. So, right, I'm going to take Luis Ortiz. I don't even know what the line is, folks. I hear the fight is going to happen in New York City. I don't even know what the line is. I'm taking Ortiz because I expect Ortiz to be able to get inside. Let's remember Chris Arreola got inside on Deontay Wilder. Let's remember the jabs to the body that Gerald Washington landed on Deontay Wilder. I'm expecting Ortiz to get inside on Wilder. I'm not sure if Ortiz has any peers in the heavyweight division outside of Tyson Fury on the inside. Now let me offer a mea culpa here. I lost, it's another big loss, in the Sullivan Barrera Joe Smith Jr. fight this last weekend. Right? I encourage people here online to take the under 9.5 rounds. I thought someone was going to hit the canvas. The hedge I had was Joe Smith by knockout. So the fight starts. First round. Guess what? Joe Smith knocks down Sullivan Barrera. Right? At that point, you would have thought, well, at least I thought, well, it's a done deal. There is no way these guys are going to go another 9 rounds post-knockdown. Right? None. Well, that's exactly what they did. Let me go one step further. I thought there was no way Joe Smith was going to be lethargic and out-hustled in the fight. While I wasn't sure who was going to win it, I thought at least we were guaranteed A lot of action round after round. Sullivan Barrera came, he brought the action. Joe Smith, after getting the knockdown off a left hand, right, not even his right dominant hand, getting the knockdown off a left hand, allowed Barrera to get back in the fight and then just allowed the fight to get away from him. The point of this is simply, look, I'm not claiming by any stretch of the imagination that any of these predictions that I make here online are sure bets, right? I'm here just making educated guesses like everyone else, right? For the record, I also thought the Manny Pacquiao Jeff Horn fight was going to end by KO. That didn't, right? So, view my prediction of the heavyweight title changing hands of Luis Ortiz, in my opinion, beating Deontay Wilder through that lens. Understand, I'm not claiming to be Nostradamus here. I'm not claiming to know it all. But based on styles, I'm just not convinced that Wilder, who to me looked confused for the first few rounds against Gerald Washington, his last fight, right? Wilder was so confused, he hardly threw any punches, right? I'm just not convinced that Wilder is flexible enough in how he makes adjustments. Literally, in what makes Mayweather great. The fact that Mayweather faces adversity, keeps a clear head, makes adjustments, trusts his instincts, comes up with new strategies. I'm not sure if Wilder is flexible like that or whether he's hardwired. I just haven't seen the Wilder fight where a guy gets inside and Wilder knows what to do with him, right? Luis Ortiz, in my opinion, is going to get inside. One of the secrets to Ortiz is Ortiz can fight outside. He can. It's just that he's a master inside. Let me also point out, too, that Wilder is a righty. Ortiz is a southpaw. Now, I know there's a school of thought that says, look, the way to beat a southpaw is with a straight right hand, which is Wilder's strength, right? I'm just here to tell you, though, that Wilder's going to have a very hard time landing a jab on Ortiz, just given the angles. And Ortiz is one of these guys, I know he's a big guy, but he knows how to bend and bob and weave his way in, right? I think Wilder, who took several rounds, to time that right hand against Artur Szpilka, right? I think Wilder's going to have a hard time with Ortiz's bounce, right? Think Jack Dempsey against Jake Willard. Hope I'm getting the names right, right? From 90 odd years ago, right? I'm just telling you, Ortiz is savvy. He's old school. He's going to come in. He's going to have a little bit of a bounce to him. When he gets inside, he's not going to be so far inside where you can grab him and clinch him. He's not going to allow the clinches, right? Rather, what he's going to do is to be able to get inside, and then he's going to do some Omar Figueroa type moves, right? That I think will get him the title. We'll see what happens. That's my initial impression on this fight. I'll listen to the stories. I'll see the condition of the fighters. I want to see what Ortiz is weighing these days, right? We'll hear about all the stories from training camp, whether some sparring partner came in and was looking a bit too good against the scheduled fighter and stuff like that. But my first impression here is that Wilder, who I applaud for his boldness, right? His personality type is the kind where he doesn't want the belt unless he's truly the champion. And I respect that 100%. I just feel that he's in against a guy who, hell, we might call him a contender. I view Ortiz as an uncrowned champion. I'm expecting Ortiz to chop down Wilder on the inside. Let me say this too. Wilder's very tall. There's no question about it. But he's also very thin. I believe he's vulnerable to the body. Right? And Ortiz, of course, has never lost. Right? Ortiz, very long amateur pedigree. Very long amateur pedigree. And inside, you remember the uppercuts that took down Bryant Jennings. Ortiz has a way of slowing down better athletes, getting them in shootouts with him, and then taking care of business. Consider this upcoming heavyweight fight, if the rumors are true, to be drama of the highest order. Right? The heavyweight division right now, with the Joshua Klitschko rematch on the horizon, and with this fight on the horizon, is going to be very hard to beat with these two matchups, right? The Cruiserweight WBSS comes close, but I'll concede for the sheer drama of it, right? I think the world understands there's the heavyweight division and there's everything else. The personalities, too, are interesting, right? Vladimir Klitschko, experienced champion, several years champion, right? Anthony Joshua has never gone the distance in a fight. Think about it. Even Deontay Wilder is more experienced going the distance than does Anthony Joshua, right? 100% KO ratio, right? Deontay Wilder, feast or famine, right? In trouble against Eric Molina. You were watching that fight and you realized Molina was inches away from the heavyweight title. You look at Chris Arreola, took the fight on short notice, yet there he was on the inside, roughing up Deontay Wilder, right? You looked at Wilder in the early rounds against Gerald Washington. There's Washington, in my opinion, winning round after round. But then, of course, you go from those moments to Molina getting stopped, Arreola getting stopped, Washington getting stopped. In other words, as you're watching the fight thinking Wilder's getting challenged, suddenly Wilder's not getting challenged. Arthur Szpilka looked decent to me. I had the fight much closer to the judges. One punch. Szpilka's unconscious before he hits the canvas. Such is the power. Right? I don't see Wilder being able to do that against Ortiz. I believe Ortiz has more foot speed than remains to Vern. Right? The way Wilder got the title, I thought, was by using his feet against Bermain Stavern. Right? I think he won't be able to do that against Ortiz, who, in my opinion, knows how to cut off the ring. This might be that rare fight where a heavyweight champion with something like a 90% knockout ratio is going to be hunted by a challenger convinced that he's a superior marksman. Right? This is the sport we love. This is one of its bigger fights. Let me hear from you. I want your opinion. I want your breakdown of the styles in this fight. If you feel, and I know many of you do, that I've been dissing Wilder, that I'm here being disrespectful, questioning a guy with such a huge KO percentage, who is an unbeaten heavyweight champion, right? Then I hope you make your case. You don't have to agree with me, just be passionate about it. I hope you make your case in the comment section of this video. Thanks for stopping by.